Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of FPL Don't Panic. Game week 16 almost over. Quick review, and then we'll just take a look at the teams that's set up for game week 17. And any thoughts on the transfers, players that we need to look at, etc. Going forward. So, game week 16, the good, the bad, and the ugly, really. Mostly good. I know the score doesn't look that great, and I'm on a big red. Not that big, actually. It's 112. I'm down 2 as it stands, about 130 at the moment, and that may well drop by another 10 or 20,000 after the Bournemouth West Ham game. But overall, I'm happy. Last week was very much about setting this team up for the next 5 to 10 game weeks, bringing in the players I want. Yeah, taking some risks. Yeah, obviously with taking hits, some of which have worked out, some of which haven't instantly. But I'm actually happy with them all, even the ones that have worked out very, very badly. I'm actually reasonably happy with, to be honest with you, because the team's at stand is a squad value of 105 million. I've got literally zero left in the bank. But it's not going to be an easy team, and I think this is actually quite a desirable team. I think it's well set up. It's got a really good balance to it, and going forward, I think it could get me some. This could be the team now that will actually, over the next 5 to 8 game weeks, I'm hoping will push me well into the top 100k. Never say never, because we don't know. It's football, and it was a series of very strange results this week. But I think most people looking at their teams on paper this week, looking at lots of juicy home fixtures. Thought they were going to be hitting, 80s, 90s, maybe even 100s. I certainly thought there was massive forward potential, and which is why I thought it was a good week to take the hits. Didn't really work out that way, but I'm not on too big a red, and I've got the players in now that I want, and I don't think I need to make too many transfers. So I'm hoping I'll be able to roll from it. So let's have a quick review. Let's have a little review. Just to note, I've been trying to do a recording all day, and it's been constantly freeze framing on me. Not sure what's going on. So if you constantly see things like, screen. If not, So I'm gonna put this up one way or the other, anyways, because I am over it now. Let's do this again. Becker in goal. Yeah, took a hit for him. Just had the 1 point. That was probably the silliest transfer I did. But I'm also very glad I did it, because Henderson did it yet again. And if I was watching the Palace game, and honestly, if I had Henderson in goal, I swear to God, I would have thrown a brick through the TV when that goal went in the last few minutes. I've got Becker in now. I don't have to talk about Henderson anymore, and few tricky fixtures, but overall, really happy having that double Liverpool defence with Virgil. Just the 1 point out of Virgil. Sending off obviously affected things. The sending off with Robertson happened obviously before the first goal. It was a very scrappy goal. Liverpool started off poorly. They started to sort of build up a little bit of momentum. And then, of course, they had the sending off, and they conceded another goal. So the Robertson, in terms of the good, the bad, and the ugly, the Robertson sending off definitely goes into the ugly, because I'm sure that actually cost me at least a couple of points between Becker and Virgil. But where it will cost me most is obviously in the Salah captaincy. In terms of the other defenders, Gabriel and Timber both returned with a clean sheet. So that's what I want out of my double Arsenal defence. That's why it's in there. It's give me those double clean sheets. Achieved that, so fantastic. And one of the hits was Aït-Nouri for Timber. Aït-Nouri's now suspended, I think, and he had a -2. So yeah, that's great. Timber's in, and I don't think White's back for that's probably going to be a month or two at least. So I should get at least 5 to 8 fixtures out of Timber. And even when White comes back, I think he's been going well. I think he could still be playing out at left back. So we'll see how that develops. But for now, absolutely really pleased with that defence and the way it's set up now for the next 5 to 10 games. And hopefully we can see a clean sweep of clean sheets a few times, maybe over the next few weeks. Who knows? But I'm very, very happy with it at the moment. Salah, as it turns out, it was actually the right captaincy choice. But obviously with the Robertson sending off, That obviously limited the attacking intent. So just the 5 points, doubled to 10 for the captaincy. And in the end, weirdly, it did turn out to be the right captaincy because Palmer did not return. And I hadn't really seriously considered any of the other options. So that was always a choice. Yeah, do need to see Palmer getting some returns at some point in the not too distant future. But for now, every point would have hurt me unless he was maybe setting something up for Enzo or Jackson. So I'll get a bit of a double whammy that way. But yeah, kind of worked out. So that's fine. Saka, disappointing, no return again. Is that 2, 3? We'll have a look at the spreadsheet shortly. I've got it all filled out. But yeah, need to see him up his game a wee bit. Never thought I was going to depend on Saka for hauls. To me, he is a steady Eddie that'll get you a return every game week, and he'll sort of have a nice average 7, 8-ish. But just steady, reliable. That's why I've got him in the team, not for a haul here and a haul there, but blank, blank, blank. He's in there to be my steady Eddie, and I need to see him getting back to that. Yeah, Arsenal seem to be a little over-reliant on the set pieces. I think they've been unlucky not to get goals, though, and I do think we will see that turn around, and hopefully Saka can start to get those nice, steady returns pretty much every game week. Not spectacular, but 6, 7, 8 points on a regular basis. Very, very happy with Enzo. That was another one where it was one of my transfers, one of my 4 transfers. He was the first transfer, so I don't know whether we actually count him as the hit. But it was Bruno that went out. So I'm clearly down on that deal at the moment. But Enzo was brought in as an enabler to actually allow me to bring in the more premium defenders and also to bring in Isak. So in that respect, job done. I rate him highly. It really passes the eye test for me. And at 4.9 million, I think he's already up to 5.1 million. Very, very happy with that. Jackson, yeah, fantastic. Brought him in a couple of weeks ago. So great to see him get on the score sheet now. And hopefully with those great run of Chelsea fixtures, hopefully we can see a lot more of that. He's a bit of a dichotomy though, isn't he? My God, he looks like a baby giraffe on crack cocaine, trying to find his legs for that one he missed in the one where he was sliding around on his arse in the box. But then he strides through the midfield like a gazelle and strokes it into the net. Honestly, strange, but very, very interesting and a very, very good player, I have to say. So really happy to have him in the team. Great to see him get his first goal for me. Really nice to see because my team has felt, this is why I'm really happy with it at the moment, has felt unbalanced over the last 5, 6 game weeks. Although I've been hitting 75 points, 85 points, really hitting a really, really good average the last 5 or 6 game weeks and risen right at the table. The last few game weeks, I have been over-reliant on my premium midfielders hauling and getting the captaincy pick right because both the defence and up front weren't really getting me many returns. So really nice to see returns coming out of defence again and out of the forwards. Especially as I say, there wasn't really too much came out of my premium midfielders. It just feels like there's going to be a better spread of points, and there's going to come a game week where they all bang at the same time, and we could be looking at 100. Fingers crossed. João Pedro, disappointing. We'll talk about him more when I look at my team for next week and spreadsheet projections going forward. I am going to stick with him. Decent fixture next week. Slight temptation to maybe bring in Raul, who's got a decent string of fixtures coming up. But my plan was to roll once I got this team set up. So we'll talk about that shortly. And he has got a good fixture. Maybe it'll be an opportunity for him to get things back on track. Yeah, Isak, fantastic. Really, really pleased with that. Don't think he has even hit his straps yet. He could have had 2 goals and another couple of assists. He's looking great. A couple of tricky fixtures, but I think Isak can score in any game. He looks like a man on fire at the moment. He looks like a man on a mission. I see some really big hauls in the not too distant future. So I'm sure the eagle-eyed amongst you will have spotted my over-points-laden bench. Yeah, I suppose if I had stuck with my team from last week, I would have had a 70-pointer because there's no question about it. I've got Hall there would have absolutely would have played instead of Timber. So there would have been points there, and it's potentially that Ahmad might have even come in as well. But this is why I've got that bench. The bench is there. I've got my Ahmad, Enzo rotation. Hall is there. I've spoken about Hall a lot. in the last few weeks that I wouldn't be selling him, that he really passes the eye test for me, and that Hall has a haul coming. Unfortunately, Hall had his haul when he was on my bench. But it's great to have that option. If I do need to do a rotation, Virgil has got a pretty tricky fixture next week. Don't see Liverpool keeping a clean sheet. Hall's got Ipswich. May bring him in for that one. Might bring him in for that one. Haven't decided on it yet. And Ahmad, as anyone, and there wasn't anyone. But if you were so bored in your spare time to go back to my very, very first video of the season, I've been singing Ahmad's praises since the beginning. I had him in my game week 1 squad. I thought he was going to get a fair start under Ten Hag. He never did, so I did move him out. It's just fantastic now to see him getting the proper game time under Amarin, and what a fantastic performance. I can't sing this lad's praises highly enough. If you haven't got him, seriously get him. You'll even if it's just for your bench initially, you will be putting this lad in your team, especially when he's coming up against your Southamptons and your Ipswiches, etc. He is just a superb footballer, and I have moved Bruno out, but I've got my United cover, and don't know. I could be proven wrong on this. I think he'll match Bruno toe for toe, and I still rate Bruno. I only moved Bruno on to as a cash cow enabler, so I can actually build this team. Yeah, but if you got Bruno, do not worry at all. I still think Bruno is going to be hitting 8, 9, 10 points per game week average. I think Ahmad's going to match him. And Konza back to no return. But he's got some decent fixtures here and there. Say he got me my 9 points last week, which was an absolute match week saver. So very, very happy. So yeah, 58 points, minus 12. It is definitely a red arrow. That red arrow will grow after tomorrow's match. But I still think I should still just about be in that top 150k. And from here on, it's about the team going out each week to hopefully get me into that top 100k before the end of game week 20. And that is now the next objective, to get into that top 100k by game week 20. Have a look at the team as it stands going out. So obviously it'll be Becker in goal. Tough fixture, Tottenham. I'm not overly hopeful of the clean sheet, but as I say, you just don't know what you're going to get in football, do you? And Liverpool's defence, now that it looks like they're got a reasonable unit there. I know Konate is still missing, but it looks like Gomez is doing a decent job there, and with Virgil and Trent, etc. So I think Liverpool will start to get some clean sheets. Just not so sure it will happen against Spurs. So I will have a consideration of whether I do bring Hall in for Virgil and just spread it there a little bit, because that is a good opportunity, I think, for a clean sheet from Newcastle. And you never know, Hall just might get me a return. Double Arsenal defence against Crystal Palace. Yeah, happy with that. I'm very happy with that. The Arsenal defence is definitely getting back to its best, I think. So good potential there for clean sheets there. Salah, Tottenham away. Absolutely captain's armband for me, I think. A few injuries in that Tottenham defence. They will not change the way they play. They will attack. There will be space in behind that Spurs defence. Only other one I think about could be Isak, but I think it's got to go on Salah, and I suspect that's where the majority of people go. And I think we'll find it'll be something like 70% will go with Salah, and so with his effective ownership, I think it'd be foolish to go against him in what I think is a really, really good fixture for him. Fixture that does worry me a wee bit. Everton are back with that defence in there. Dyke has got them going again with their 0-0s. And I think it's going to be tough for Chelsea, as well as Chelsea are playing, and they are playing very well. Playing very well indeed. Hopefully we can get something out of Power next week. Saka, Crystal Palace, yeah, good fixture. I think this could be a good one for Saka to start getting back some returns. Hope we can get a goal. Happy with an assist. Just want to see a nice spread of points across this team next week. But if Saka can come in with a 7-8 or a 9er, that would be very, very lovely. Ahmad, Bournemouth at home, so he will come in for Enzo in my Ahmad-Enzo rotation. And very, very hopeful that he can get at least one return, maybe even two. Jackson, again, up front against Everton. Who knows? He'll either get a screamer from the edge of the box, or one will come off his arse and he'll stumble onto something. Don't care. I have a funny feeling he might get something next week. Goals breed confidence. He's got his goal this week, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if he does get something against Everton. But I do rate that Everton defence, and if I do make any transfers over the next few weeks, It could be just to maybe strengthen the bench a little bit in terms of defence and potential clean sheets, and I don't know, maybe strip out Konza and turn Hall into a Branthwaite. Everton are just going to keep clean sheets. Simple as that. Dyke does it every year. João Pedro, yeah, the worry, but I think West Ham is a good fixture for him. So hopefully he can get that goal that gets his confidence going again. I really do want to roll. I do want to roll. There's a little temptation with João Pedro's dip in form to look at Raul, Evan Nielsen. I like Evan Nielsen a little bit actually. So there are a few options there, but I think we're going to just stick with it. I said I was going to roll. I said, and I'm not very, as most of you, nearly all of you will know, I do like my transfers. I really do. But I have to tie my hands up or take them up or something, or stay away from the computer. I really want to roll 3, 4, 5 transfers. And as I said in my last video, one of the reasons for that is just in case we need to get back on the Haaland bandwagon. Now, looking at him yesterday, don't think so. He was poor. I don't think United were particularly brilliant. I'm a United fan. This year really poor. They're really poor. It's really, really hard to see us getting what we get most seasons, the post-Xmas Man City. But we just have to be ready just in case, because he's still getting chances. He didn't get them yesterday, but his expected goals is not bad. So it's just, I need to roll transfers just in case. We do need to look at Haaland, and I have worked out ways that I can keep the integrity of this team together and get to Haaland. Plan is to roll. And the other reason we need transfers, of course, is this new chip. We'll need a few chips for that if we're going to we'll need a few transfers if we're going to swap managers around, etc. So yeah, something else to think about there to try and build up and have a few transfers in the bank. Isak is of course starting. I'd say 30% I could put the captain's armband on him. It is a good fixture, I suppose, but it's not bad. They're not bad. They're certainly, at the moment, the best of the relegation fodder. Southampton and Leicester start to look pretty woeful, and that might be something I look at where I can, if I do the odd transfer here and there, just to target Southampton and Leicester. They're looking really, really poor. So the bench at the moment, Hall could come in for Virgil. Enzo will stay there against Everton. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets a return. He's been so consistent, and there could come a time where I do a 3-5-2 on the right fixture, and Konza just back at the bench there. Villa could keep a clean sheet in that. But that's why I'm happy just to have these players on the bench. None of them are particularly expensive, but they're all very good and a decent chance to return should there be any, particularly in this busy period, unexpected rotations, etc. So pretty happy with all of that. Let's have a look at the spreadsheet, and it shows me some pretty good numbers. This is definitely the best numbers my spreadsheet has shown me. Feeling it may be a little over optimistic, but my averages are coming up. So these, for the uninitiated in this, these are the last 5 game weeks of the players that I've selected to play in the next game week. So this is the last 5 played matches. Most of them are concurrent, but there is another one where there might have been a benching or something like that, or an injury. But generally, it just overlays. It just gives me an idea of what this team will achieve playing together on a week-by-week basis. So you can see it says 62, 69, 99, 81, 61. All these numbers are without captaincy. I do my predictions based on not having a captain, not having the captain for the whatever can happen will happen factor. My prediction last week was 72. What did I say I ended up with? It was 58, 59. But as I say, whatever could happen did happen last week, obviously, with the Robertson sending off. So that really messed up Salah's numbers and the defensive numbers. And really and truly, as I say, there was so many opportunities. Isak could have had another couple. Jackson should have had one. There was so many things. So it generally works out. Sometimes it's worked out incredibly accurate for the most part, but it was a bit out last week. So this week, with the 62, 69, 99, 81, and 61s, that's showing an average of 74. Generally, this team should produce an average of 74 it feels incredibly optimistic. But as you can see, the numbers are quite spread out. You're not over-reliant on one player with this team. When someone else is not hauling, someone else is hauling. So there's a really, really good spread of numbers, whereas before I made my last transfers, it was just starting to get a bit over-reliant on the Salah, Palmer, Saka type hauls that were sort of propping things up, and also getting that captaincy armband right. The fixtures look really, really good. The averages are starting to come up a bit in the defence. They've certainly come up now. Now starting to get a return out of the strikers. The median, which is basically 62 to 99 median, is showing me 81. So I always take the lowest number as my prediction for the team. So I'm saying this is going to come up with a 74 next week. Now, if everything goes smoothly and we do achieve that, and I get the captaincy pick right, could be happy days. We don't know, it's football. It could also just as easy just hit the 61. Yeah. But those numbers look good. It's certainly the highest threshold I've seen with any of my numbers all season. I have generally been hitting the 70 pluses across the season, particularly in the last 5 or 6 game weeks and in the first 5 game weeks. There was the fall off the cliff period when I brought in Haaland and it totally skewed my spreadsheet. But we're back on track now, I think. Players that I'm thinking about, just a few to think about. Now, I plan to roll, but you know what I'm like. You've seen my form. I am rash. I'm impulsive. I will do things. But I am going to try and stay disciplined for the next three or 4 weeks and be very, very boring and just roll this team week on week so I can build up those fixtures. But there are players that are on my mind. It has to be said. Really like Fulham at the moment. Robinson in particular. I had Robinson for a while last year. He did really, really well for me. There's Bournemouth. I like Huijsen. Where everyone, no one seems to pronounce. I had my eye on him for a bit, and he's looking like he's starting. He is looking like he's now a regular starter because of injuries. Great attacking threat, and what is he still? I think he might still be 4.3. He's got a lot of promise, I think. Potential to look at some Everton defenders as well. I think almost any of these sort of regular starters. I'd love to get Branthwaite in, but I can't really get there with maybe having to take someone out of the main team, which I don't want to do at the moment. There's a few others. When I do my video later, maybe I'll do a little watch list video, but there's a few I've just been having my eye on for a bit. But if I was to tell you to buy anyone at the moment, and if you're not convinced now, I've been banging on about him since the beginning of the season. Now he's finally in my team, brought me in points, getting starts. It's a mad. Just get him. Put him on your bench, and until you get faith in him, get him in your team. He will get you points. For now, that is it. Thank you very, very much, folks. I hope your game this week has gone really, really well. I hope this isn't freeze framing on me. I'm still going to put it up even if it is. Let's screen back here now. No, I'm sorry there, guys. I was covering myself up there. Hello. Sorry, I'm still just going to put this up. Yeah, there it is. You can see it there. All the averages at 70. The 74, which is going to be my prediction. I'm going to leave it at that. I am going to put this up, whether I'm freeze framing or not, because I have made about 1 million attempts to do this today, and I'm tired, and I have had very little sleep this week, and a huge amount of coffee while I've been watching football. So, hope the rest of the game week goes well for you. If you're not finished yet, we'll catch up later in the week. Have fun, play your own game, don't panic, and I shall talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.